Welcome to the Rocket Rewind, the show where we get together and talk about things that matter, things that are interesting, and shit that might just blow your mind. Yeah, they're our opinions, and you don't have to like them. We might not like yours either, but feel free to share them in the live chat. This is America, where we have free speech, cancel culture, Karens and Darrens, all working together in such super sweet harmony. Yeah, right. Sometimes the things we talk about might help restore our faith in humanity, but all too often it's going to be stuff that might piss you off like it does us. Make sure you have your grown-up panties on and come join the conversation. Oh yeah, and make sure you subscribe and turn on those notifications. You don't want to miss this weekly dose of provocative discussion. The Rocket Rewind, Sundays at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. Let's get into it. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, boys and girls. Happy Sunday.
What's going on, gentlemen?
What is
How's it
up?
going?
Hanging.
Yes. So I hope everybody's had a good week. We're trying something different today, so no promises that this shit's going to work without exploding on us. We are streaming to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at the same time. Now, we cannot see any Twitter comments. I don't even know if you can chat on Twitter. I have no idea. I know you can stream there, but I have no clue. Twitter doesn't allow StreamYard, our software that we're using, to interact with the chat. So God only knows. I don't know. I'll go back and look at it. If you say something on Twitter and it's really, really important, come on over to Facebook or YouTube so that we can pick up on what you're saying. Let me see. Let me do a quick run through the chat here. I see Zachary Flores. Taylor Ray is here. Steve the Body Man, of course, who is also right over there. We've got Stacy here. What's up, Stacy? Hope you're doing good, brother. Brandon Loman's here. Good to see you. Chris Talbert, Moderator to the Stars, is in here as well. Dustin K is here. What's up? What's up? So it may take a little while for some chat to filter over to us and back and forth. I don't really know. There's Taylor over on Facebook. Look at that. Hey, the Facebook shit works. Thank you, Taylor, for helping me test that out. I do appreciate it.
That's cool.
Stacy's asking how we're doing. I guess since my name was listed first in that question there, I'll say I'm doing fucking fabulous, man. I've got a drawer full of snack food over here, and I've been in my Bucky's fudge over here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm doing pretty good till I get those fudge poops, probably. Steve, what about you? How you doing?
I'm all right, I guess. Just another day, man. Just another day. I got got a lot of stuff going on around the house. So if I'm not on the PC, I'm doing something around here. So
yeah, and just so y'all know, Steve was eating a damn sirloin just before the stream.
Yeah, it was good.
Thank God you can't scratch and sniff or smell through the internet, because I probably would have been even more jealous.
It's 18-ounce sirloin with a baked sweet potato and some vegetables and mushrooms and onions and dude.
Good Lord. I still remember that time you ate that 5-pound fucking burrito. I swear, I think it was 5
my God,
pounds.
that was so good. That was so good.
What about you, Adam? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Just hanging in here.
Alive and kicking.
Yeah.
Did your dog leave? I thought I saw a dog back there.
Nah, he's right.
Oh, no, there it is. The live panel thing's covering him up a little bit. I thought I saw a pup over there. Chris Talbert's over on Facebook as well. Good to see you over there, Chris. Megan Gaming is here. Jamie H is here. What's up? Good to see y'all. So we left y'all hanging a little bit on one of our last shows, and we got a couple of or at least one follow up that I want to do. The Phoenix Police Department, when they arrested that journalist outside the Chase Bank, we now have, thanks to one of the news companies out there, they now have body cam footage of that initial interaction. So we'll look at that. Yeah, come on up to Huntsville. Come on up to Huntsville. It's a fine place. I like it.
I don't know if that's sarcasm or what.
No, I do. I actually love it up here. I really do like it up here.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, there's some bullshit like there is anywhere, but I like it. I like Huntsville. You know,
it's a pretty city overall.
Yeah. It's like everywhere else. So you got your good areas, you got your bad areas, you got your good apples, you got your bad apples. You know, that's just the way it is.
You can still walk through the parks in Huntsville though. So that's nice.
Most of them. I think there may be one or two you might want to run through. I'm not.
Well, the main part, Big Spring Park's nice to walk through.
Yeah, it is.
The big nice one downtown is really pretty.
So they do have a baseball team called the Trash Pandas. They sure do. Now that rocket at the rest area, that's actually that's further up north on I-65. That's not in Huntsville. That's Elkmont, technically, I believe. Yeah, and they say that they can't keep it.
It's deteriorating too bad.
Yeah. So, oh hey, I can see the likes and stuff on Facebook and all that. Look at that. That's pretty neat. Okay. I can't see shit on Twitter. So if you're watching on Twitter, thank you so much over there. I'll see if I can read any comments later on. There's Brooklyn, emergency response via. It's good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Hoffman is here. What's up? What's up? No, you didn't miss any. We're just getting started, brother. We are just getting started. Taylor's off tomorrow. He's going to be resting. Let's look at this though, because this one kind of tripped me out, right? This one comes from News Nation, which is home of Live on Patrol, if I remember right, or On Patrol Live, I believe is what it's called. There was a toddler. Police responded to a call where there was a toddler with a firearm. And when I say toddler, I'm talking about, I'm almost sure this dude was in pull-ups.
He was still in diapers,
yeah. Diapers or pull-ups. Supposed to be 4 years old, from what I understand. But the response and the arrest for the dad, all that was actually caught live, kind of, or just prior to going live on the On Patrol Live show. So we'll look at some of that real quick because it's dude, it's scary as hell, like for real. Yeah, you're right, Stacy. Hey, there's Jay Clark. Well, let's go ahead and get into this. Like I say, this comes from News Nation. It's a pretty cool channel. Matter of fact, I've been meaning to subscribe. Let me make sure that I subscribe because they have some cool stuff on their channel. So if you're not subscribed to them over there, go check that out. It is definitely well worth it. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this video, though. This was on the Rush Hour segment. Now, this was a couple of days ago. But it was caught just before the On Patrol Live show.
First, let's get to our top story getting a lot of attention all around the country. An Indiana father jailed today after shocking video surfaced of his toddler playing with a gun in their...
All right. Now, this kid, problem number one, this kid is outside. Well, I guess problem number one, the kid's got a damn gun, right? He's got a firearm that wasn't secure. Problem number two is he's outside unattended. On an upper level in the apartment complex. This is not the downstairs apartment. This is like the second or third floor apartment. So the fact that this kid could get, I mean, he could have, not only could he have shot himself, but even if he went out without a firearm and the firearm wasn't even in play here, he could have been kidnapped. He could have fallen. There's a lot wrong in this situation. A lot wrong. Yeah. And exactly. Stacy says, where are his clothes? Exactly. Don't even have no clothes on. Now, didn't they just say Indiana? I believe it's Indiana. I don't know how the temps have been there, but it's fucking January. Right? So January, no clothes outside. That's probably not a good idea either. you know, hey, Michael Tingley, what's up? So let's see. Let's take a look at this. This is freaky. I was pissed about this.
First broadcast by Patrol Live and hosted by News Nation host Dan.
Look at that. Yeah. Got the gun pointed at himself, and it looks to me like his finger's in the trigger.
It is.
Now, luckily, there was no round chambered in this, because this is a semi-automatic pistol. So had there been a round chambered and it was ready to rock and roll, this kid would have shot himself. And no telling how many other people, because there's this video was captured from the neighbor, I think across the walkway from his apartment.
It was on her ring doorbell, I think.
Yeah, her ring doorbell.
Yeah, it was on their doorbell cam. And so, you know, he could have shot through this door by accident. He could have shot himself. He could have shot down into another apartment. I mean, dude, and I have a granddaughter who's about to be 6. And I've got a grandson that's about to be 3. And then I've got an infant grandson too. But thinking about this as a grandparent, I would absolutely lose my shit if one of my kids let their kid do something like this.
Abrams, it shows the baby playing with the gun on the stairs of the building, waving it and pulling the trigger. News Nation correspondent Kelly Beeson is here. Kelly, this is really disturbing.
And it certainly is. Police were called to an apartment in India.
So
they saw a child waving.
So the neighbors called, thank God, right?
It was the downstairs neighbors.
Yeah, it was the downstairs. And I actually watched, I went back and I watched this episode of the show to catch that. Steve is not wearing Rocket City News merch. He's wearing, let me put him full screen here. He is wearing something that is going to be for the staff only. We're waiting on ours to come in the mail. Steve ordered it for us, found it online, ordered it for us, and is going to be sending that to Adam and myself. So we'll have those. Why can I not get this to display correctly? There we go. But yeah, so we're gonna all be decked out in that before long, thanks to Steve.
We're just waiting on a couple other items to come in. So as soon as they come in, and everything's going to be ready to rock and roll. So we'll all be matching.
Stacy said, "Why does this dude behind her look like his mom dragged him to work and he didn't want to go?" I like Stacy. He notices shit that we don't even notice.
Yeah,
you know
I totally didn't even notice that.
Oh my God. If you become staff on this show, yes, you can get a shirt, but you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
And just to warn you, Steve caught them on sale. That sale might not be in effect anymore.
I might be able to get something because I bought so much stuff off them already for this.
Yeah.
And for my own personal stuff. I mean, so they might be able to hook me up still.
A gun in a hallway.
All right.
And we want to warn you again, this is incredibly hard to watch.
Let's check it out. This is some more.
Live, hosted by our very own Dan Abrams. You can see the toddler waving a loaded handgun and pulling the trigger. Now, producers of the show say at one point the child even pointed the gun at himself and pulled the trigger. Now, at first, the father of the child denied he had a gun in the house until a neighbor comes forward with this doorbell video. Police seized a semi-automatic 9mm pistol, and a police report says that while no rounds were in the gun's chamber, there were 15 rounds loaded in the magazine. Viewers watched live on TV as the father left his apartment in handcuffs. He's been identified as 45-year-old Shane Osborne, arrested for felony neglect of a dependent. Now, reportedly, the child was returned to his mother's residence where he lives, and police have promised more updates on the.
So I watched this, and the full episode of the show, you know, the cops show up at first and they're like, you know, we got reports of, you know, your child being out here with a gun. And he's like, well, I don't own a gun. We don't have a gun. It's the first thing he told him. Well, then they come back with this video and they're like, look, we got video. And he's like, oh, well, my brother owns a gun. Maybe he left his here.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not sure where he keeps it, but we can look around. So they start looking around, where the cops end up finding it in like this. It kind of looked to me almost like one of those old style secretarial desks that has like the roll up thing. And he had it stuck in there and stuck back, that had been opened. It was stuck in there back in the back corner and then closed. Something that I don't think the toddler could have done, maybe. But I believe the part of the reason why the cops arrested the dad was because they felt like he was bullshitting them about the gun to begin with. So,
but and I have to say, they did a really good job, because at first they had no probable cause, enough reasonable suspicion to enter his apartment without a warrant.
right.
And so they backed away, but then that neighbor stopped them and said,
Yep.
no here, and showed them the video. They were like, okay,
There's the probable. That's the probable cause they needed. Yeah, and they did. I mean, they, they asked to enter the apartment. They asked about the firearm. It was, they didn't violate this guy's rights. And then, but once they had that probable cause by seeing that video, I mean, that's all they needed right then. They, at that point, because the crime had been committed, but they still asked about looking around. Can we help you look around? And he consented to that. I think because otherwise, I think they still would have had to have a warrant.
But they would have had enough they would have had enough to get a warrant.
Yeah, they would have had enough PC to get a warrant for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, John Daynard, what's up? Good to see you. Eric Boyce is watching over on the Facebook over there. Appreciate that. Eric, thank you so much. I agree with you, Dustin. I agree. Firearms should not be left out for a kid. Hey, Eric, let me know how the stuff looks over there on Twitter. I'm not even sure if you're live right on Twitter or whatever. I'll go back and look at it later because we can't see the chat over there anyway.
I pulled it up. It's working.
Okay, good deal. Twitter will probably be fine. I'm a little concerned about whether Facebook is going to let this show hang too long over there because Facebook's kind of funny. Hey, hello, all you Facebook moderation team over there. Appreciate y'all letting us have our show here. Don't cancel me, please. Now we talked last week we talked about the reporter in Phoenix, or was it the week before?
Reporter in Phoenix. Refresh my memory.
All right. So in Phoenix, Arizona, there was this reporter. It was a black guy with an afro, shorts, and a T-shirt out in front of the Chase Bank. Yeah. And so he's interviewing people, and we watched video from this lady, this bystander that had recorded him getting arrested. Well, the body cam footage has been released. And so I wanted to take a look at that because our biggest issue with the whole thing was what happened before this. Was he really trying to leave like he says, or was he full of shit? That's kind of that's a big point in, did you leave? Were you going to leave, or were you refusing to leave? Because then it becomes trespass at that point. Let's see. Look at that. There is Joe Boyd also over on the Facebook. Good to see you, Joe. Macy's here. What's up, Macy? Good to see you. So let's pull this one up because I'm interested to
breaking developments
to see. This comes from ABC 15.
An officer handcuffing and detaining a
and I'm not sure which station it was. I'm gonna have to go back and look at it, but I did get a copyright claim on this show. It wasn't this video for this guy. It was another thing we talked about. The one where the apartment was falling apart and the pregnant woman was being evicted. Whatever news channel that was gave me a copyright claim. For that video. Yeah. I mean, I can fight it, but I'm not monetized. So it's not like, it wasn't a strike. It was a claim, which means if I was monetized, they would get part of the money from the video, but I'm not monetized. So, whatever. I guess we didn't talk over it enough. I don't know. It wasn't transformative enough.
That's our video. You can't have it.
Yeah. Calm down, Mr. Herbert. Calm down.
I wasn't going for that, but okay.
Yeah. All right, so we have the body cam footage. Thank you, ABC 15, for sharing this body cam footage, because I've been real interested in seeing this.
Dave's here now to.
He's a reporter.
So this is the original.
Up until now, we've
That's
only
the
had
original
cell phone
video.
that shows the moments after reporter Dion Rabowen was handcuffed. Now we know what happened
And
before.
here's the body
On
cam
November
footage.
23rd, as Officer Caleb Zimmerman walks in,
We don't
you can
have it
see
up.
Dion in the background talking to a man on the sidewalk.
All right, so you can see him right there. He's talking to somebody. I don't have it up on the screen. It didn't take. God damn. I apologize, y'all. Hold on. God damn. I swear I've done this once or twice before. You think I... You say, sorry. Anyway, there we go. Hey, there's Dakota Gaming. What's up?
What's up, Dakota?
This chase.
So here he is right here. This is him standing here in his shorts and his t-shirt. He's talking to somebody outside the bank, right? He's on the sidewalk. He's not right up at the door. He's not blocking anybody's entrance. He's basically right on the edge of the sidewalk. I mean, you can see here he's just about in this gravel stuff.
Bank near 32nd Street in Cactus.
Hey, what's going on? Okay, what's...
So he keeps asking people like if they have accounts here and like making them feel really uncomfortable. And so we went out there and like, hey, we're just making people feel uncomfortable. Could you just leave? And he's like, no, I'm a reporter.
Okay.
An important point here. Weeks before this story ever went public, Chase Bank apologized to Dion for what happened. According to the Journal, the bank admitted they were in the wrong. The police never should have been called. Now to the moment the officer approaches Dion from the...
You don't have any audio.
Did she say that she asked
Yeah.
him to leave?
She did. I think. Let me see exactly. Let me back it up here because there's some text on there.
Making them feel really uncomfortable. And so we went out there and like, hey, we're just making people feel uncomfortable. Could you just leave? And he's like, no, I'm
Yeah. So she said,
He was like, no, I'm a reporter.
Right. So I don't know, but then I think the official statement from them was that they had not asked him to leave and that they should not have called the police. Now, if somebody's out front harassing customers, then they have every right to call the police if they refuse to leave. It is a private business. That is their sidewalk. And, but it's a gray area. I mean, in this day and age when everybody's got cameras and stuff, law enforcement should have been a little more cognizant of that and just been like, hey, they don't want you out here doing this. Can you head on down the road? Because now with arresting somebody or detaining somebody, you got a lot more paperwork to do. If you just come up and run them off, there's no paperwork to do.
Yeah.
a reporter.
Okay.
An important point here.
So he did. She told the cop we asked him to leave, and he didn't leave.
Police never should have been called. Now to the moment the officer approaches Dion, from the first word to handcuffing him, it's just 90 seconds. Watch.
90
How's
seconds.
it going? All right. How are you? You get your ID on you? Yep. Can I see it? Why? Because they want you trespassed from the property. What's that? They want you trespassed from the property. What is trespassed from the property? That means you will be notified that you're no longer allowed to be on this property. If you return to this property, you'll be arrested for trespass.
Why do they want that? They never asked me to leave.
Okay, they said they came out here and asked you to leave because you were making customers uncomfortable.
So he said they didn't ask him to leave.
What I was doing. I told them what I was doing. They said I wasn't allowed to solicit. I said I wasn't soliciting. They said they were going to go talk it out with someone. Okay, that was the end of it. They never asked me to leave.
So key point here, you can't be trespassing if you weren't told to leave, of course, right? So that's a very important point that the officer has conflicting statements about here. He talked to one employee, so there's no corroboration that anybody asked him to leave. There's one employee saying they did. He's saying they didn't. If the officer wanted to push this, he probably should have went back in and asked somebody else, asked another employee, hey, who else went out there and talked to them too? Did you ask him to leave?
But right here, he's only asking for his ID because they want him trespassed. So all the guy has to do is give him his ID, even if they haven't asked him to leave yet. You still have to identify him and fill out the paperwork for them to trespass him.
Well,
so he's still in the good there, in my opinion.
Well, but here's the thing. So And there,
But
there's
then she knew he was a reporter too, because she even said, I asked him to leave, and he said no because I'm a reporter.
yeah.
So
Well, anybody can
she
say
knew that much.
Yeah,
But
anybody can say,
that.
yeah. I mean, and anybody can be a reporter, but I
Right.
mean, somebody that's about to rob your place can say they're a reporter. I mean,
Right.
Mr. Wizard, good old Chase Bank, didn't they do this to you? No, that was Redstone Federal Credit Union, and they actually never asked me to leave, nor did they call the police on me. So +1 for Redstone Federal Credit Union. I didn't get arrested or detained that day. And I was offered a Coca-Cola or something. So it wasn't a total loss. Hey, Joe Boyd, what's up? Good to see you. Dakota Gaming, hello. I'm not sure if I said hello to you or not. Let's see.
Now, if they ask you for your ID during something like this, wouldn't that be a seizure of the Fourth Amendment?
Well, so Brooklyn, I hope your hand's okay. Brooklyn failed trying to get out and get video of a fire truck. What up, Southpaw? Good to see you. So there's some argument to have there about the ID thing, right? I'm not sure what the ID statute in Arizona is.
I think there's on one of those videos for Fridays with Frank, they actually list that title code in there when that guy did not, tried to say he didn't have to ID. Well, they have a statute in that state where you do. If you're asked for identification from a police officer, you have to do it. There's a charge.
Well, there's some misconception here in the state of Alabama that if you're asked for ID, you have to provide it. There's only certain instances where you're required to provide your identification or to identify yourself. And it does say that you have to be suspected of a crime, or that you've either committed a crime or about to commit a crime or in the process of committing one. So in the state of Alabama, you don't have to provide ID if you're going to be trespassed. Not to have a trespass warning. Now, if you remain after being told to leave, then the officer can arrest you for trespass. Then you have to provide your identification. But just to give you a piece of paper that says you can't come back somewhere, there's no crime if you're leaving. And we'll see here in a second, this guy is going to try to leave, I believe.
Okay. Well, right now you are being detained for trespass because they have told me they've asked you to leave and you're still on the property.
Okay, well, number one, you haven't asked me to leave, so
okay.
I don't know what I'd be detained for.
Because once somebody from this company or this property asks you to leave,
okay, so
and you remain on the property.
But also, am I on the sidewalk?
You're on private property.
So this sidewalk is private property?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, no one informed me of that either.
Okay, do you have your ID on you?
I do, but there's no reason I can show it to you because I haven't done anything wrong.
Okay. I'm going to officially trespass you from this property, which means you are required to provide
Right, but what I'm saying to you is I haven't been asked to leave. If I had been asked to leave, I would have left.
Okay, the next step is I put you in handcuffs and you get arrested for trespassing. Is that what you want to happen?
I'll just leave.
This cop is
They're
such
going
an
to trespass
idiot.
you from the property.
So here's where he says, I don't need to be trespassed. I'll leave. I'll walk away voluntarily. So he's willing to leave. At this point, if I was this officer, I don't want any more paperwork. Fine. Take off. Have a nice day. No viral video. No viral video. No live panel talking about this shit 2 weeks.
If anything, this cop is just escalating the situation. He's not trying to make anything better.
Well,
he's trying to identify him so they can make a record of him being trespassing property.
Yeah,
private property.
And see, here in Huntsville, Alabama, they have a thing where if you're trespassed from a business, it's put into their system. So if you're ever caught at that address again, they know you've been trespassed from there. So
I get specific address.
Yeah, it's a specific address.
Not all Walmarts. It's just that one at that address.
Yeah, because we've trespassed many of people from our stores before, and if there was two of our stores here in Huntsville, and if you got trespassed at one of them, the trespass didn't carry over to the other. It was a specific address. But we did provide a written ban notice that specifically banned them from all company locations nationwide. So that could also be argued. Most of the time, I never, in all the years we caught shoplifters up here, I don't think I ever testified other than in front of the grand jury. They always pled guilty. We had enough evidence where the defense attorney was like, you don't even want to fight this, you know?
Yeah. The videos were always too good.
Exactly. Oh, man. Jorge Zambrano, what's up? Good to see you there, brother. I mean, I'm on the fence with this one here because I just think that.
Well, see, now the business has wanted him trespassed.
Right.
So
I get it.
For you to trespass an individual, now you got to identify him.
Not in Alabama, though.
To make the record.
Well, but see, that's where my sticking point is, right? Since Alabama, you have to be suspected of a crime to identify yourself. The fact that a business doesn't want you there anymore isn't necessarily a crime if you leave. It's only a crime when you come back. So the fact that remain, but he just said I'm going to leave.
He's right, but he's saying that he didn't get told to leave, and she's saying that he did. So you got conflicting stories, so therefore you got to investigate it.
Oh, I get it.
And
I get it.
Your easiest thing at that point would be to identify him, make the record, and ask him to leave.
Yeah,
because then he is trespassed in front of you.
Yeah,
at least like in Alabama it would be that way. But there, I don't. I don't know how their trespass laws work in Arizona.
Well, and here,
I'm sure it's kind of the same.
Me either. But see, that's why whenever I'm out filming, I probably, if I was going to talk to people, I probably would have been over here. Mm-hmm. You see this right here? This ain't Chase Bank property.
Mm-mm.
That little piece of sidewalk right there.
Mm-mm. Is the sidewalk directly in front of the bank?
This one, it is directly in front of the bank, and they have their own parking lot.
Leads into the damn bank. Yeah, it's private property.
It does. Yeah, this I would consider this private property because this is their parking lot. Their building is right here. This is their rock garden that they got going on. Whatever. I mean, you know how Arizona is. They got rock gardens and shit because it's hard to grow grass. Yeah. But I mean, I'm with them. It's private property, and I'm with you. If he was told to leave, then whatever. But I also get the reporter's point here in that I haven't committed a crime. I shouldn't have to give you my ID. I will leave right now. The cop stops him from leaving at this point. So the cop is causing him to remain at this point. So it's, to me, as an officer, it's too much bullshit for very little return. You know what I'm saying? Pick your battles,
Well, I think it's reasonable to go ahead and identify him, do the paperwork, and kick him off the property. But I wouldn't be trying to threaten arrest with it.
No.
Right. I don't
you're still here. You do.
I believe probably do the arrest. Not identify himself.
Turn around, put your hands behind your back.
I just said I will.
Turn around, put your hands behind your back.
I will walk away voluntarily. I will walk away voluntarily.
Are you resisting?
Are you resisting? What am I doing?
Put your hands behind your back.
I'm not doing anything.
That's another thing that's kind of funny too, because I used to use this before too. There's a difference between not helping the officer handcuff you and resisting. And each state is also a little bit different. Some of them have had to clarify a lot, like
to prevent you from arrest.
Yeah, if you go dead weight in some states, you've resisted because you made it more difficult. But it's not that way in every state. In some states, you have to physically try to pull away or stop it, right?
Keep your hands away from them.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to tell y'all right now, if an encounter with law enforcement ever gets to the point where they say, turn around and place your hands behind your back, do it. Your argument at that point is over with. Everything from that point forward can get you more charges, right?
Yeah. No matter what your opinion is.
Right. Deal with that shit.
Arrested fairly or not.
Right.
Put your hands on your back. It's easy.
Deal with that shit in court, because what's going to happen is if you resist in any way physically by not letting them handcuff you, that's a whole nother charge. And if if it's something as simple as you go to jerk away and that officer falls, you might also get charged with assault on a police officer if that officer gets injured. So I'm telling you, I mean, I get it. Nobody wants to get hemmed up for something they don't feel like they did, but there's only so much argument you can have with an officer on the sidewalk.
So let's take a walk on the wild side and throw a hypothetical situation out there. Let's say the guy that the cop tells to put his hands behind his back has an arm in his sling. And what?
Well, you obviously you can't put your hand behind your back then, but you let them take control of your good arm at that point.
Yeah. Okay.
And
we used to have a guy that had one hand, and his other hand was cut off right here, so you couldn't handcuff it. Right, he just had a nub. So what we would do was handcuff that hand, put it behind his back, and loop it. He always had blue jeans on, but we would loop it through his belt loop. So he could pull it. I mean, if you pulled hard enough, of course he could have ripped his jeans and had a handcuff flopping around. But
I did one time have to handcuff a guy that was missing a hand also when I used to work for the sheriff's department. But this guy was real thin, so my analytical mind and the way I did it was I handcuffed his one good hand, pulled his arms around behind his back, and the one where he was missing one, because his arms were so skinny, I handcuffed the other one up here. So it didn't go over his elbow, but it worked. You know, he was uncomfortable as hell, but I got him handcuffed, you know, but he was
not designed for comfort.
No, that dude was fighting though. Like I needed him in handcuffs. There wasn't I'll hook it to
and
your
the
belt
one-handed person can really still fight like crazy too.
Well, and once that handcuff
still hurts.
Well, once that handcuff is on, it's now a weapon. It's a piece of metal they can swing at you. So you got to be real careful with that.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit more in this video for us to see here.
Put your hands behind you. Pull your phone out. Please record this.
This is where he asked the woman to start recording.
You really want to make this
right here, though? That is resisting. Unfortunately, he is not allowing his arms to be brought behind his back. So this right here, he's actually lucky they cut him loose, in my opinion, because they could have made this resisting charge stick.
Hey, wait. Right now, you can still. I told you I would voluntarily leave.
This is when the cell phone video recorded.
Now, see, so the demeanor and everything does slightly change once he knows somebody else is recording it, right? All of a sudden, he's let his arms go behind his back. I mean, this went wrong a couple of different ways. I mean, when the officer showed up and said, you know, hey, the business wants you trespass. All right, hey, no problem. I'm gone. Thank you, officer. I wouldn't have sat there and argued about the sidewalk. If it's just private or public property, it's like, okay, all right, I'm out. Because I mean, come on now. I mean, let's think about this like adults here. You're standing directly in front of the bank on the sidewalk that connects to their building. That's their sidewalk, bro. I mean, that's their sidewalk, you know?
Yeah.
If it's not along one of the main roads, it is not public property at that point. It's just, I don't know. I don't think that the reporter should have argued. I think he should have just at least tried to leave, you know, like, oh, I'm sorry, officer, and started trying to leave. That would have given him a little more backing if he was charged with this. And well, I tried to leave, the officer made me stay. You know, I don't know.
Well, I don't know how old this case is, but
it's new.
If he really starts pushing, that cop could go get a warrant for that resisting charge.
He could, but I think because of the negative publicity they've gotten, I think the Phoenix PD is like, we ain't touching this with the 10-foot pole.
They're not gonna want to do it, but he could do it. It depends. It depends on how much of a stink they want to raise about it.
Exactly. So Mr. Wizard's got a good point here. He says if an arrest is unlawful, you have more of a chance fighting it out after the fact in court than fighting it on the street. You're damn right. You are definitely right. And it's one thing to have a conversation with the officer and try to get them to see your viewpoint, but there's a fine line that you got to be careful not to cross where refusing to do certain things is where you can get the resisting and stuff like that. So this is where she's recording. This is her. The bystander's video.
Yeah.
And so this is all we had seen before. So now that we've seen the body cam footage, I mean, Steve, what do you think? Who's more in the wrong here, the officer or the reporter?
I think the cop's in the wrong, honestly. Yeah, the guy wants him to leave, but he didn't even give him the option. I mean, wouldn't you go up and say, hey, they want you to leave, you got an option, you can go now or we can trespass you. That to me makes sense. I mean, give the guy the option to either he goes or he doesn't go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think it probably would have been easier for the officer just to say, all right, well, cruise on. If you absolutely have to have something for a report, why not download your body cam footage and screenshot his face where you're talking to him, attach that to the trespass. And if he's ever picked back up there again, you've at least got a photo.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
I mean, I get it, but there's sometimes I think that officers are addicted to the ID. It's almost like we got to get this ID at all costs. Sometimes it's not worth this bullshit. It's not worth this. It's not worth
it's
this.
not. A trespass isn't worth it. But if a business owner wants somebody trespassed, and you're a police officer, you're obligated to trespass them.
All right.
But however, nobody in the bank even said that they wanted
I
them
shouldn't
off the
say just
property.
business owner, but a property owner.
Yeah.
If somebody comes on my property and refuses to leave, like for instance, the ATF's new law. If the ATF comes on my property and comes to my door, the only thing I'm going to tell them is to kick rocks and get the fuck off my property. I'm not going to answer any questions, anything like that. Get off my property. And the moment that they don't, because I have cameras and they record audio and video, the moment that they don't, they're trespassing. And so then I can call the sheriff's office.
Now here that brings up something. That brings up something.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say the sheriff's department comes to my house. Mm-hmm. I love you, Madison County Sheriff's Department. Don't come to my house. But let's say they come to my house and they don't have a warrant, but they come and they want to talk to me about something, anything, whatever. It can be a crime, it can be a report, whatever, who knows, whatever. But they come, they want to talk to me, right? It's a consensual conversation if I talk to them.
Right.
They don't have a warrant for my arrest or anything like that. So they come, they knock on my door, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm talking to them through the doorbell cam or whatever, because although I like the Madison County Sheriff's Department, if you come to my door, I'm probably going to talk to you through the doorbell camera. I ain't opening the door up. But anyway, so let's say that, I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to have that consensual conversation. And I ask them to leave, and that officer refuses to leave, and they have no warrant. They're trespassing, right?
Mm-hmm. You can take that.
Is that really going to stick?
You can take the video and go down to the district clerk's office and play it, and the district attorney could actually file the charges. But yeah,
we talking Matt Huntsville.
They just prosecuted but they just prosecuted a cop. So you got about a 50-50.
I mean, I'm just, I'm playing devil's advocate here, but I mean, because you see these videos all the time of people that are like, I ain't gonna talk to you, get off my fucking porch, and the cops don't leave. They have no warrant. I mean, sometimes.
Well, for me, I'm gonna be the smart ass that pulls up the trespass law and just repeats it over and over. I'll just start reading it over and over and over again on video, so that they know what the law is. And I'll explain to them, look, I went to the same academy that you all did, and I passed my law part. Did you? And then I'll start reading law.
Yeah.
And refreshing their memory on what trespass is in the state of Alabama.
Just print it out for them and hand it to them.
If you're told to leave, well, I did that in Tuscaloosa. But,
in my car, when I'm out, filming, or well, it stays in my car. So it doesn't matter whenever I'm anywhere. I have a little pouch, like a little document pouch. and it's 8.5 by 11, whatever. Actually, I think it's 9 by 12, so that 8.5 by 11 will fit in there. But anyway, it's got a pretty good segment of the Huntsville police policy, different policies. It's got their media policy, their interaction with civilian policy. There's several of those policies in there. I've got some statutes in there, as far as the trespass statute, the loitering statute, several things like that, so I can refer to it as if needed, in a spirited discussion with an officer, before it gets to the point of put your hands behind your back. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, it's like, okay, fuck it, let's do your thing, man.
Yeah. Well, see, I've seen so many of those videos from like California, those ATF agents like going on people's property. And there was one, I don't know if it was in California, but there was one where the sheriff's office showed up and hooked up, and he hooked the ATF agent's ass up.
Is that the one? Is that? Yeah, I saw that one.
He had his little ID flopping in the fucking wind, and the cop was like, I don't give a shit. He told you to leave.
I saw that.
He did.
I saw that one. We might need to find that one. That's a good one to look at, because that's local law enforcement versus federal law enforcement.
Well, and see, that there was one that was recent too, where the guy told him, he said, I'm not going to answer any more questions. Well, I'm not going to answer any questions. You can ask all day long what guns I have in my home. It's none of your fucking business.
Yeah.
Straight up. It's none of your fucking business. There's not a registry for guns in this country because they're illegal. So you do not have enough reasonable suspicion to enter my home, nor do you have probable cause to do it. I'm not gonna give it to you.
There may not be an official registry, but I guarantee they know. They know some shit.
Well, when you go buy one and they run the background check on one, of course they're going to keep a record of it. But at the same time, but can they
even
use
for
that
rifles?
to get a warrant? But can they? Right. But can they use that to get a warrant? Because the registry is technically illegal.
Yeah.
So they can keep a record of them running it, the background. But how are they able to use it as a reason for get a warrant? I don't think it would stick.
I do kind of want to. I want to touch base maybe next week on the new law in Alabama where you're no longer required. You're no longer required to have a permit to carry concealed. Yeah. Now that we're constitutional carry here in Alabama, I think that'll be a good thing to talk about. I want to get I can't find a good version of the law that I wanted to show on the screen. It's all kind of hard to read, so I'm gonna try to. I may have to copy and paste it in something so I can control the font size a little bit better. Hey, there's Nicholas Peel. What's going on, Nicholas? Good to see you.
What's up, Nick?
So Adam, you side more with the officer on this Phoenix PD thing, right?
I do.
That the guy should have just provided his ID. I feel like,
I mean, the reason I say that is for the fact that he's getting conflicting stories. And the property owner, he is on the property, and the property owner wants him trespassed.
Yeah.
So he's technically on the property, and they don't want him there. So yeah, it would be easier to just identify him. And he was trespassing him. He didn't say he wanted to arrest him. He just said he was going to trespass him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think probably both of them could have handled it better there. I think that the officer went further than he needed to, just because. I mean. You know how shit's going to get blown out of proportion nowadays, and was that really worth it? I don't know if I was the officer that I would push it that far, but I also know had I been this reporter. Now his focus was, now he's not filming. His focus was he was asking people about how they like their accounts and they're doing their business with Chase Bank. Now here's a thing. If I was him, if I was a reporter, before I tried to ask anybody about their bank, I'm going to be in a 3-piece suit with some credentials, displayed.
Yeah. Oh, so that's where he screwed up.
Like he was going to the barbershop to get his hair put in. Bro.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to tell. Dude, somebody could walk up to me at my bank and start trying to tell me they're a reporter or whatever. I'm like, I'm not even going to confirm I bank here.
Mm-mm.
For all you know, I'm coming in to use the toilet. I'm not telling you shit about my banking experience because I'm not going to confirm I even bank here to somebody I don't even know.
Right.
And that's what, you know, so I mean, I'm surprised anybody even talked to the dude out there to begin with.
He certainly doesn't look like a reporter. I don't know what he was trying to do. I mean, I do remember that he said that he wanted to not look like a reporter. And that is right there. I mean, that dude is somebody I would not talk to outside of a bank. I don't know what he's up to.
Not to talk about my banking info. I mean, of course, I mean, he's not asking for account numbers or anything like that, but just the fact that, you know, I mean, let's play devil's advocate here, right? He sees you walk up to the bank. He talks to you about how you like your banking experience, blah, blah, blah. He gets your tag number. He has a buddy that can run tag numbers. He's now got your name and address and knows where you bank.
It's a bad guy.
Yeah. I mean, that's a little too much info for me. Yeah. What's up, the bad guy 34? Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Nicholas likes your dog.
He's a mess.
But yeah, I think that the reporter should not have been on private property to begin with. I mean, I get that in order to talk to customers going into the bank, you've got to be on their property and everything. But if you're going to do that, I mean, I don't know. You're on private property. You're on private property. You're there at the behest of the bank as to whether you can stay or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now, before we get too far into this show, because I like to blab on a little bit. I want to actually show you the video that this title is about. So there's this guy. Let me pull it up here. This is from Here to Stay SA, which is in San Antonio. This is an older video. This is from a year ago, but this is one of the better videos. Now, the whole reason why this guy's channel exists for the most part is because he started having so many problems with law enforcement. You can see here he's got his little boxes laid out here. He's basically performing. He's breakdancing, and this is a public area here, right? This is city owned property right here.
It's sidewalk.
Yeah, it's like a sidewalk. The business is over here. Right. So, and we'll see another angle of this here in just a minute. But and this is a security guard, by the way. But we'll see another angle in a minute where the camera person, which sounds like a female to me, is standing kind of over this way. And you can kind of get a better feel for how this is more of a public area. I'm going to have to skip some of this because he is playing some music while he's breakdancing. But I mean, this is the street. Here he is right here. Here's his little breakdance stuff. This is the street. And there's no business right here. There is some kind of business over here. I don't think we get a good look of what business might be there. I mean, there's something there, right? But I can't tell if that's a business or if that's a government office or whatever, right? But either way, yes, this guy right here. So either way, all right, let's look at this. Let's say this business is the one that called. Now, I don't know who called the cops, right? But let's say it's this business here.
Yeah.
If anything was going to be theirs, he's not blocking, anybody coming or going from their place because here comes somebody out right there. If he was right here, I could see the issue. But he's over here. He's within whatever public easement there is. Here's trees.
Yeah.
Here's this has got to be. I mean, why is this delineated?
Right.
Why is this separated?
But on that, is he sitting on the covers to the public works thing?
No, that's cardboard boxes.
Okay.
For him to break dance on.
Okay.
That's what that is. So these are his
move.
Yeah,
that's
these are his.
Yeah,
these are his cardboard boxes, and he's got music, that he's playing. I have to be very careful about the music because copyright strikes are a real thing when it comes to music. Hey, there's Keegan Corns Gaming. Keegan, good to see you.
What up, bruh?
But like I said, this is in San Antonio, Texas. And here you see the officers pulling up, right? It's about to go down. He saw the cops pull up, so he stopped his dancing, right? The cops are talking to this lady here, who's the security officer for this area.
She's a security guard.
Yeah, she's a security guard. She's not a police officer. The police are wearing the darker color, the black.
Dark,
yeah,
navy, black or navy.
I'm trying not to get too much of this music. So they haven't approached him yet, right?
Yeah.
There he is. He's doing his thing. Shake that ass, right?
Look at him busting that move, man.
I know it, man. He was getting after it.
He's tearing it up.
Yes, indeed.
Now, where is this at again, Onyx?
San Antonio, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, San Antonio, Texas. I'm going to mute the audio just because of the music in the background. But so here comes the officer coming up to talk to him. So he's polite. How you doing, officer? He didn't say "What's up, you fucking pig" or nothing like that. He was polite. So I mean, he's starting off good. The officer told him he's not supposed to be out here.
Whatever. You got vendors here as private property. Then what is here? Yeah.
This is private property. This is a public forum. I'm sorry? San Antonio. Yeah, and this is not private. Can you get closer? They pay every week.
Yeah. So you consider me like a vendor?
No, I'm not a vendor. I'm not asking for money.
But you're out here. You're dealing with their property. So you have to take off.
This is not their property. I'm a resident of San Antonio. I'm simply expressing myself.
Okay, but you can't do it here.
Yes, I can. This is a public space.
Can't do it here, he said.
This is their space. The vendors own the Market Square.
No, not vendors. Market Square owns it.
Market Square owns it. San Antonio owns it.
Yeah, you can't be out here. Okay, it's like they go into your front yard. That's your.
So the sticking point here is going to be Market Square owns this. So is Market Square a private entity, or is it part of the city? Right.
Right.
Any of you from the San Antonio area? I know we got a couple of you in here. If y'all know where this is, what do y'all think? Is this public property or is this private property?
It looks public to me.
It looks pretty damn public to me too. Because you've got, these are all different businesses over here. So I mean, maybe this is kind of like an open air mall, like Bridge Street. See, like here's the thing.
That's what I was wondering.
Like, Bridge Street Town Center here in Huntsville is private property. An individual store doesn't own anything but inside their building. But the Bridge Street Shopping Center as a whole is private property. It's ran by a management company. So Bridge Street Security would have to come and tell you to leave. Now, here's what makes me think this might be private property. Is the fact that there's uniform security there. Yeah. So is the security for this entire thing? Because I see them in multiple places. Like I think this is one over here.
Well, another thing is most cities don't put brick down for sidewalk. It costs too much.
No, they don't. Right. Not for sidewalk, but they would for like.
I've seen Huntsville on some decorative intersections.
Yeah, we have some decorative brick things here too, and Huntsville is doing a lot of this arts and entertainment district stuff, where it's fancied up and everything. Which, by the way, did you know you can drink in Bridge Street now while you're shopping? It's considered an arts and entertainment area.
Well, they used to sell. When was that restaurant that was there? It's called Lime. Yeah, you could go in there and get a margarita and walk around Bridge Street.
Yeah, well, you can now. They got a place called Fat Tuesday down there that sells $40 daiquiris.
Holy cow!
Big is it?
You get
$40?
dude. It ain't very big at all. So it's a thing actually smaller than my cup
Oh,
here,
no.
right? But it's plastic. It's like reusable, and you can go in and you get a refill for cheaper once you buy that once. But so my brother-in-law and his wife went over there yesterday, and she got some kind of a daiquiri or margarita or something, and it was supposed to be $20, but she asked for an extra shot in there, which cost her an additional $20. It was $40 for her drink.
For one drink?
That's
For
crazy.
one drink.
Jesus.
And of course he's drinking Keystone Light or whatever, and he's like, I got a whole case of these for like $10.
Bitter beer
Yeah.
face.
You know.
Well, you know, like there was a big uproar in Tuscaloosa on them selling beer at the games.
Yeah.
They didn't want it. The city wanted to tax the shit out of it. They were wanting like $3 or $4 per beer,
Jesus.
or per alcohol drink sold inside the stadium. And the school was like, no, we're not going to do it. We just won't sell it.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
they finally came to some kind of agreement. And, yeah, it's crazy. I wonder if that $10 a shot or $20 a shot, what kind of
That's a lot of
liquor is
money.
it?
Yeah. What's up, Cheryl Porter?
God.
Welcome to the
I mean,
stream.
is there
Good to
like
see you.
I don't know if it's like an extra tax just because it's at Bridge Street or something like that.
I
like it was
don't
at
know. I
Stadium.
haven't been down there yet, but now she did leave the container here for my wife to go and get refills with if she wanted to.
Well, that was sweet of her.
Yeah, but so I got to look at it. I got to look at their website and see if they have any pricings on there. Mr. Wizard says he thinks this is probably public. To me, it looks public, but looks can be deceiving.
Well, and here's what I was going to point out too. I mean, this whole thing they got going on here, although it looks public, it very well could be private.
Right.
And the reason I say that is because you guys probably have never been to Colorado, but when I lived out there, there's a great place up in the mountains called Heritage Square. If anybody's watching who knows about this area, they kind of understand where I'm coming from. You pay to get into the place, but the way they have it set up, it looks public. The whole entire area looks like an old Western town from the 1800s, like all the storefronts. The only thing that isn't 1800s looking is they've got a really neat 50s diner in there. You go in there and it's just it's incredible. Like the whole place like screams 1950s. It's the best place I've ever been. It's awesome. But as you're walking around this place, and it's huge, we're talking 10, 15 acres. I don't know how big it is, but it's huge. The whole place, although it feels like it's very public, it's extremely very private because if I'm not mistaken, they do have their own security like these guys here do. So looks can very well be deceiving.
The security is what makes me think this is private.
Yeah.
Well,
the light poles to me too.
Right.
Look
That's
at
private.
From,
those could be
from
privately
this
owned.
angle.
Yep.
Because even across the street here, I wonder if this is kind of like you know how like Bridge Street is laid out where like you can go from the parking deck into the the restaurants right there behind where Belk is. That's what we kind of wonder, because if you look over here at the top of this, over there across the street at the top of that thing, it's talking about the shops and stuff.
Yeah,
So that kinda
something
was like a
market.
parking
I
deck
think it
walk
says. I think it says Market Plaza Shops.
Shops, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you cross, and then you're in the shops. I'm gonna say it's private, and then you got the little post dividers down there in front of the white car. I mean, I think it's private because that wouldn't be a public sidewalk if it had those little dividers right there. In my
it's it's pretty fancy, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
so I mean, I can't really say, you know, if the officers have, you know, enough PC to arrest this guy for trespassing or not, because we don't know one key part. Is this actually private or is it actually public? Because that's a big factor in this. The main reason why I kind of wanted to show this video is because the way this guy responds to these officers is probably one of the most calm, cool, and collected interactions I've ever seen somebody have with law enforcement. Now, this guy has had to start his channel because he gets arrested and run off from what he says is public spaces all the time.
Yeah.
But
just because the public is allowed in a space does not mean that it's public.
Right.
It can still be private property.
But this
it's a
guy,
public domain.
This guy could approach officers as an asshole, but he really, to me, he minimizes their fear that he's going to be aggressive. He's also very public and outspoken, but in a polite way. And the fact that he has the wherewithal to make sure when he's out here that somebody's there ready to record is probably a good idea. So let's look at how he responds when the officers get ready to try to.
Front yard, I pay taxes. This is my market. I am allowed to enjoy my market as I am a resident.
You're gonna take off.
I'm not taking off. I'm not taking off.
You gonna go to jail?
I'm not taking.
All right. So here's where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. If this is private property, the officer was giving him a chance to, quote, take off, as in leave now, this shit's over with.
Yeah.
So this is where the dude's banking on this being public. And he's either right or wrong here. It's either private or it's either public. There ain't no there ain't much gray area.
Since this is an older case, there should be a resolution to the charge, I would think. Because it's not a felony or anything, it's a misdemeanor, so it should be resolved by now.
Yeah, I couldn't find much resolution, but now I've just started really digging into this guy's channel. There's some other videos that we're probably going to visit on this guy at some point, but let's just watch how he handles himself. I think it's kind of neat. This is different than I've ever seen anybody respond to police.
You know, it's not trespassing. I'm enjoying my public space. Yo, y'all gotta back up, guys. Y'all gotta back up. Y'all gotta back up.
Look at that. 2 cops for 1 guy.
I'm not abiding by that policy. That policy is unconstitutional. I'm protesting my right to be in a public space. I am not leaving. I have no threat. Why are y'all doing me? What law am I breaking? What law am I breaking? What law am I breaking? What law am I breaking?
Look at that.
What law am I breaking? What law am I breaking? What law am I breaking?
2 cops for 1 guy.
What law am I breaking? What law am I breaking? Back up, guys. I'm not a threat. What law am I breaking? What law am I breaking? What law am I breaking?
All right. Now, so here's the thing that caught my attention. Here's the main reason why I want to look at this video. So he's trying to argue the point that he doesn't feel like he's breaking a law. He's keeping his hands very visible, right? Because I mean, let's be honest. You know, cops are living on edge right now because of how often they have guns and shit pulled on them right now. And so he's keeping his hands very visible. Instead of approaching the officers, he's backing up slightly. So he's trying to let them see he's not a physical threat, right? The moment this officer touches his arm, he lets that officer take full control of his arms at that point, right? Watch that real close.
Yeah.
What law am I breaking? What law am I breaking? What law am I breaking?
He immediately physically complies with his handcuffed attempt, right? So no resisting. Now he's loud. He could be, if they really wanted to push it, they could try to push disorderly conduct or something for disturbing the peace. But he's only asking a question. He's not using any foul language. He keeps asking, what law am I breaking?
What law am I breaking? No, I don't. You're not going to oppress me and take away my constitutional rights. What law am I breaking? What law am I breaking? Can you tell me, sir? 9538. What law am I breaking?
9538.
554.
554.
All right, he just read out their badge numbers, and the camera person repeated it, so he made sure he's got that on video.
Never seen anybody get arrested for dancing before.
Well, he's getting arrested because he didn't leave when they told him to.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Not for dancing.
Yeah.
Just because he didn't leave.
But I mean, getting arrested for dancing is a much catchier title than dude got arrested because he refused to leave.
Technically, that's what it is. I mean,
yeah.
And see, that is a parking deck across the road. I can see the cars into the gates now.
Oh yeah. But and I'm with you. This to me, I mean, surely that's not run by the city. That's, you know.
I bet it's
that looks like more shops in there.
Yeah, I think this is very, very possibly private property.
Am I breaking? What law am I breaking? I'm breakdancing in a public space. What law am I breaking? What law am I breaking? What law am I breaking?
Public space
I'll tell you
does
again, what law am I
does
breaking?
not mean it's not
Let's go.
private, though.
Yeah,
That's
there's
what
a
I'm
big.
saying.
I mean, Walmart's a public space,
Yeah,
but it's not public property. It's still private
Right.
property.
It's
So that
open to the public. It doesn't mean that you can't get
right
asked to leave.
now, and see, but now here's the thing: if you look real close at the statute for trespass in Alabama, it's worded kind of weird in that if you're on or in a business's property without their knowledge or consent, you could be trespassing. Well, I think that leaves some interpretation there that could be slightly dangerous, because let's say I go into Walmart and the person that the cops happen to talk to has no idea that I'm in Walmart. Then I was in there without their knowledge, but I did have consent because it's open to the public unless it's specifically rescinded by making me leave. You see, I mean, I just think there's a lot of vagueness in some of these laws in Alabama that I think could get people hemmed up on some shit. Because if you go to certain places in Huntsville where the homeless like to hang out and people panhandle, they've started putting up signs on the sidewalk, like right next to the sidewalk between you got the road, you got the sidewalk, and then you got the parking lot for the business. Between that sidewalk in that little grassy area and the business, they've got a sign up there that talks about no trespassing or loitering. Well, so and they've got some statutes up there, which I've printed out and put in my little docket packet that I keep with me. But loitering is not standing around doing nothing. The loitering, when you look at the loitering, there has to be some solicitation involved or something.
Which there. In Alabama, right? But for Alabama, there's a law against soliciting. You can't solicit in the state,
right?
And that's a state code, that title code for the state, not a city or municipal ordinance. That's state.
So you mean to tell me nobody goes around putting flyers on people's front doors advertising for pizza places?
They do it constantly,
and they're not allowed to.
Well, some cities allow it with permits and stuff, but
okay,
you don't want to come to my house and do it.
I've got a sign on my door that says no soliciting, and I'll remind them real quick if they ring my doorbell, because working from home and stuff, I don't like my doorbell to ring. It was worse when we had my dog and she would bark like crazy. So here he is, he's getting arrested.
Hey man, you better not touch me like that. You respect my rights, aren't you?
So I mean, he's pissed, but he's not fighting back. He's just talking. He's talking a bunch of shit, which is his First Amendment right.
And they're not biting him to any of that shit. They're just
they're staying calm. They're staying cool and collected. I mean, really, yeah. I mean, they could have got worked up here. We see it happen to officers all the time, right? But he also, in my opinion, could have been more aggressive. We see that a lot too. He was not physically aggressive. He didn't try to fight back or anything like that. I mean, I think in total, everybody handled it about as good as it could have been handled. Now, if he's mistaken and it is private property, then he's probably fucked here.
Yeah, he's good. He might as well plead guilty and pay his fine.
Yeah.
All right, got you.
I mean, they conduct themselves very professional.
That's it, right?
Yeah. All right, y'all don't need to talk to me. I'm just documenting.
So they're going to leave all his stuff there.
Two cars
she's going
for
to
one
take
man, one guy. 2 squad cars for one guy.
She's going to get run out here in a second.
Himself. He was not asking for money.
She's going to get in trouble too.
I know. They ain't saying shit to her. They're getting the fuck out of there. They're like, yeah, fuck this.
Well, they're not making it more than it has to be.
Yeah, so that's it. That's pretty much it. But I mean, the big key thing there is this private or is this public? And I really think it's private property from looking at it. I think it's an open air shopping center. that's probably owned by some type of a retail management company.
Well, see, there's a traffic light right there at the corner.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the road's public, but both on.
Yeah,
like, the parking deck and the shopping center are private.
You don't have an address to this place, do you?
No, I don't. Unfortunately, I
you
poked
probably
around.
Look it up. What was the name on that parking deck?
Market
Plaza
Shops.
Yeah.
Let me see.
You probably look it up in San Antonio.
Market Plaza Shops, San Antonio.
That's why I kind of want to know what the deposition on the case is, to see if he had to plead guilty or if they let it go, or probation, no contest charge, no contest.
There it is. Oh, that's set up like the 16th Street Mall in Denver.
So it's an open air mall,
it's a mall. It's an outside mall.
Yeah, kind of what I was thinking too. But like traffic signals doesn't necessarily make it not private either, because the Summit in Birmingham is all private property, but they have traffic signals, like traffic lights and stuff, to help traffic through there, and it's all private.
Well, hold on now. So so this came up, the historic Market Square, but this is not historic Market Square, right?
I don't think
this is. Want me to show this?
Yeah, see if you can get it to share.
Let's see. Where's that share screen? Which one? Which one do I do?
Do your Chrome tab.
Where's it at?
Oh, Mr. Wizard said no soliciting unless you're cute.
Screen 2. Nope, wrong one. Screen 3. Nope. Screen. Which one? There it is. That one. There you go. So this right here is where it's it's an outdoor mall.
Wait, okay, hold on. So that says historic Market Square Mexican Shopping Center tourist destination, right?
Right.
Okay. Here's the thing. Let's swap over to this. Right. Look at mine here. Look at what this says. Official website of the city of San Antonio. It says right up here at the top. All right.
Yeah.
The public market tradition lives on. Farmers market, artisans, jewelry. They got farmers markets, working artisans. Let me see. It says 514 West Commerce, San Antonio, Texas. Let's see. Copyright 2023, City of San Antonio. They've got open records. But see, this may just be advertising something in their city. Like, I'm not sure who owns the actual property. Let's see. Market Square. Let's pull up Market Square here.
Well, it could be publicly owned. It could be owned by the city and be ran by a different property manager.
Yeah, that's true. So I'm not sure. I mean,
I don't think they would go through that procedure for arrest, because I don't think they were trying to be malice in it at all. They were really calm.
Yeah, they were.
And they gave
very
him
calm.
opportunity to leave, pack it up, and take off, and all that. He just refused to do it.
Yeah.
But looking at that sign right there, I mean, I think it's.
It looks very public to me.
Well, I wonder if you can do like images on Google. If they have enough images on Google, you could kind of make heads or tails of it.
No, let's see. What did we say the address was?
Yeah.
514 West Commerce. Let's see. Take a look.
Kind of want to go there now. I kind of want to go visit San Antonio.
Let me go there and bust a move.
Well, it looks pretty cool.
Well, yeah, looks like a nice little area.
Historical Mexican mall. I would love to go see that.
Okay,
get
there
some
you go.
Really authentic Mexican food.
I mean, it's listed as a shopping
American.
mall, Market Square. They've got photos. Let me see. Can we get some Google images here? Thank you, Google, for such awesome shit, by the way. This is one of the coolest things.
Look, spin that, because I think that's the actual. Because there's the parking deck.
This is it. Yeah, this is where he was. He was right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was right there. So
that it looks very public.
This is a street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is definitely a public street.
Yeah, and that's more shops inside there.
I can't read the signs right here. City property. Parking by permit only.
There you go. What
But
about
is
the
it
other
on
side
the
of the
other
signs
side
too?
of the road? Yeah.
Or is that on the street? That might just be parking on the street. Nope, look.
Yeah.
Commercial
But they
loading
stick a bit.
zone. Commercial vehicles only. That doesn't
That's
say.
city property.
That's just referring to that's referring to the street.
Smoking tobacco free.
Yeah. Is that the?
It says Market Square, no parking anytime. That looks like an ATM machine or something right there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
This is where he was. He was right over here. So this says
Right in front
Market
of that
Square,
door.
whatever this.
Yeah. What is that sign right there? Open.
Yeah, it says open. The other one, it said business entrance or something from where he was
I think
at.
the way that mall's set up and stuff, they might have like commercial trucks that park right there to unload. Because that might be the only access that they have to those businesses.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean it's the street definitely is public.
It's public, yeah.
And this definitely looks like a public sidewalk to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
beside that building, yeah.
And beside this building, I can see arguing
into the mall.
Yeah, I can see arguing this is public property over here on the sidewalk. But once you get up in here,
that looks private.
I can see maybe a few feet off, or something. But yeah, this to me, I'm kind of leaning towards this being private.
Yeah, I don't know what it is in Texas. I know Alabama it's 4 feet from the edge of the road.
Yeah, or something like 12 feet from the center or something. I've seen
something
it worded.
Like that. Yeah, I know 4 feet off the edge of the road is right of way. So even if you think it's your property, you still have to allow 4 feet. That's why like people brick mailboxes and stuff. Somebody wants a new car, they can just ease off the road a little bit and take out your mailbox and get them a new car.
Okay. The bad guy did some digging and says it says the city owns some of the land and buildings, and that some of the buildings and businesses are privately owned.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm kind of thinking private,
Yeah.
It's very like Wiz is saying, there's very separate looking from the other. Like if you look over here, I mean, it's very different looking.
Yeah. And it's only on that 1 square block, it looks like. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna say this is private property.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
All right, so let's see. Let me get this one back up. So I'm he probably should have left when the cops told him to leave. Hey Macy, what's up? Good to see you. We're getting a little far in. I know Steve has something he's got to handle here in a little bit. I want to dig into the concealed carry in Alabama, I think next week. And I also Adam had shared oh shit, hold on. Adam had shared this, and this is something I want to kind of look at. This is from Breaking Barriers United. I want to look at these next week. I think this will tie in good with the carry, constitutional carry here in Alabama if we get to it next week, because I want to hear y'all's thoughts on this constitutional carry, because I think y'all are not going to expect my thoughts on this.
I want to hear what your thoughts are
next week.
Oh man.
Come back next week, everybody. We'll talk some more shit. But I think that would tie in good with this, because we talk all the time about, was this shooting good? I mean, hell, last week we dissected a shooting here in Huntsville. It is, when do you shoot? When do you not? What would you do in that situation? And
well, I like that he likes to pick out the critics, and that's my favorite part. The ones that critique law enforcement the hardest.
Yeah.
And he picks those folks out and runs them through these scenarios. And I think that's some of the best eye-opening, life-changing things you can do to help somebody understand what law enforcement goes through every day.
What up, Dixie? Welcome, Mia. Good to see you. I think we're actually about to kind of wrap it up, because we're at a good stopping point here, where I think these other things that I want to look at next week are probably best brought up on next week's show. But let me I do want to leave you with something. Because we're always, but before we head out, I do want to share this one though. Steve had shared this one. It's real easy to point out the bad that officers or that people in general do. Hey, country boy, what's up? So before we head out this week, I want to try to give you something positive. So this is from Austin, Texas. So this is coming from I don't know where the original video came from, but right now this one is on Reddit. This is body cam footage of Austin, Texas police officer saving a man from a burning truck. So let's take a look at that.
This was incredible.
Yeah.
Get that extinguisher.
Now the video itself does hang for a second on here. But there you can see the burning truck.
I've seen this, yeah.
I mean, that thing is engulfed.
It's cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The back tires have already burned. Back tires are already burned off.
Yeah. And it's right there by the gas tanks on a truck.
At least she's next to a fire hydrant, you know? Wow.
Hey, man. Woo. Come on. Hit it. Come on, man. Come on. Come out. Get out. Help me get him real quick. Come on.
I'm not sure if he's passed out or if he's fighting them right here.
Pull.
I mean, he kind of looks like dead weight to me.
Yeah.
Turn him over. He's having a seizure.
Oh, he's having a seizure.
We got one now.
He was having a medical.
We need EMS in 1018.
I remember that.
We're not gonna do anything with it. Hey, get everyone away from me. Hey, help me pull him over there. We'll get away from the fire. 1, 2, 3.
That's a young dude right there.
Here. You're okay. You're okay. You're good. Hey, get away from it. It's not going to do nothing. That's not going to do nothing. It's not going to help. Stay away. Over here. Yeah. Get over there. Over there.
Yeah, he's clearly having a seizure there, it looks like.
Yeah.
You're okay. You're okay. 4-4, the vehicle's completely engulfed. Help me get him real quick. Come on.
This is the other guy's body cam.
Pull. Really kind of get him out quick.
Turn him over. He's having a seizure. 4-4, we got one now.
So, a couple of real key things here. First off, to run up to anything that's on fire and try to help somebody is a heroic act. It doesn't matter if you're a cop, if you're a fireman, if you're just a general bystander. It's dangerous. I mean, you could end up dead. And so the fact that you risk your life to go and help somebody is a cool thing. That truck was to the point where it was dangerous for anybody to approach it, but these officers did anyway. So kudos to them for that. And then, thank God this officer was paying close enough attention to realize he's having a medical condition. He's having a seizure. We need to, let's don't leave him face down. Face down will kill somebody because it puts weight on their lungs. So I mean, this is from May of 2021. It's an older video, but I thought it was something that was worth sharing because like I say, we can always point out the bad shit that we see cops doing because that's most of what you see on video out there nowadays. So I wanted to point out a positive. Last week was a real tough episode where we dug in on a Huntsville, Alabama police officer involved shooting. And I think when we left last week, there's nothing positive about last week's show. And so I do want to try to add something positive, whether it be something from a fireman or a police officer or something. I do want to try to start adding that every week just to kind of cleanse the palate, so to speak.
It's always nice to see, I guess, first responders or cops or whatever the case may be doing something along this line here.
Right.
This is always something I've wanted to see because I'm tired of seeing the bad things.
Well, they don't show the good things. The good things.
They never show the good things.
They don't.
That's right.
They want the bad things.
They want the bad things. Bad things and death sell. That's what they they base everything on.
The 5 years I was in, you see stuff like this all the time. To be honest, from SIDS cases to I don't know, all kinds of things that. The guy that tried to hang himself and split his face open when his rope didn't hold him, and cleaned his
I mean, I can tell you, just from from the things I encountered in law enforcement, is there's a lot that goes on. Let's just think just here in the Huntsville area, right? There's been some really cool cops that I've seen the way that they've talked to people and handled people, and they're professional, they're courteous. I mean, even to shoplifters, they would come and pick up for us. That they're going to be taken to jail, they still would come in and they were polite and respectful to the suspect. They handled their business, they did what they had to do, but you don't see it, right? It's not publicized. And so that's where I think I understand why law enforcement wants to keep their body cam footage secret in the state of Alabama, because a lot of negative stuff will come to light. But there are some of us that do like to see the positive stuff. And when I'm out filming, I'm not harassing the cops. I'm just kind of showing off what they do, right? If they make themselves look bad on my video, they made themselves look that way. I'm just documenting the scene, right? So pro law enforcement, anti law enforcement, you can come and watch my videos and you can decide for yourself, Now, if there's an issue, there's an issue, and I'll call it out. But it's one of those things where I think that, let's start seeing some more positive stuff out there. Come on, state of Alabama, give us fucking body cam footage for fuck's sake, I don't know. Anyway, but then maybe we'll see more positive stuff because there is a lot of positive stuff that goes on. There's a lot of really good officers here in the Huntsville area, and
out of those three that we talked about last week, they were all really good in my opinion.
Yeah,
I've never had a bad encounter with either one of them. And matter of fact, I can tell you, Beckles came to my defense several times with parents.
Yeah,
Huntsville
definitely lost I didn't know Darby that well. I mean, he came several times. I had some interactions with him. You know, I thought he was very professional and courteous every time he came in. He didn't talk down to people. That he was polite to us. But I didn't have nearly as much interaction with him as I did with Pegues and Beckles. And for Huntsville to have lost Pegues and Beckles, we lost two really damn good officers. When they left the department. And that sucks. It really sucks. But anyway, I think that's going to do it for this show, y'all. We're going to come back here next week, and we're going to talk about some of the constitutional carry here in Alabama. We're going to look at kind of some what would you do in this situation video clips where people who don't think law enforcement should have shot sometimes are going to be put in some of those similar situations and see would they shoot or not. And those are always some eye-opening things, because you can sit here and say, oh, I would have done this or I would have done that, but until you're in that moment, you never really know exactly how you're going to respond. So Steve, any closing thoughts before we head out, brother?
I don't know. I got several closing thoughts, but they're openers for next week. So
go for it.
The same thing. What can I talk about? We just talked about tonight. But,
you mentioned the constitutional carry, man. I mean, I don't. Should I say something? Should I?
I would save most of it for next week.
Okay. I'm gonna save it for next week then, because I think that's a fantastic opener for next week.
I think it's something important to talk about. There's a lot of states going that way. So I think it's something good to talk about, but from multiple angles. Let me just leave it at that. There's multiple angles to talk about that. Other than just woohoo, I get to pack my pistol. I think there's some other things to talk about. Adam, any closing thoughts, brother, before we head out?
No, not that I can think of. I think I'm a Steve. I think most of my thoughts in my mind right now are about next week's stuff. So
I think it's going to be really good. There may not be a whole lot of body cam footage that we're going to look at, but there is going to be some how would you react video stuff that we'll look at. People putting in some test situations, and I think that ties in really good with the Constitution.
If I get a chance. Discussion. If I get a chance, I'll do some homework and get some statistics. And have a little more to kind of give people, because I think a lot of what we hear is not exactly factual and real. So
I'm going to save. There is a statistic that I think is fairly important that here in Huntsville itself since the first of the year that I think is important to talk about when it comes to firearms, but you're gonna have to come next week to find out what that is, everybody. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, we were streaming live on all three platforms tonight. I'll go back and watch those, make sure that they worked. If there was glitchy or if it ain't worth it or anything like that, we'll just stick to YouTube, whatever. But we'll always be live over here on the YouTube. But I wanted to try some other platforms as well. So thank you all for watching over there. We're going to close it on out over here, and we'll catch you all back here again next Sunday at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. Y'all be sure and come and see us. We appreciate it. Y'all have a great one, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good night.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be grinning. These ladies know that I'm sinning, and this is just the beginning. I'm closing in the night inning. There ain't no point in resisting. Living life like a dream, live it right, that's the thing. Every night got a team, I've been tied to the scene. Out on stage, here I'm screaming. Okay, it's a dream, and I pray as a team. One day it'll be me. If I want it, then I get it. Head down, don't regret it. Push myself to the limit. If I play it, then I win it. I'm just saying, I'm just living for today. For a minute, I don't stay, I just visit. Have no shame, I admit it. Looking on me to see if I succeed, to See if I believe they're looking up to me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me.